I think Mark Zuckerberg is, in hindsight now, quite brilliant in what he did at Congress. Because even though I don't think he was particularly sincere and didn't seem to win over any of those senators, one of the things that he did firmly tell the public, and now we now know, is that the Facebook model for how they make money is about advertising. He was asked the question directly. And he said, and the senator said to him, well, if you're not charging people and everybody's using this, how do you make money? And he said, well, we sell ads, Senator. And so some people may think that because Cambridge Analytica has gone under, that, oh my goodness, all of a sudden Facebook's business model is going to be thrown overboard. That's not how I see it at all. I see Mark Zuckerberg saying, hoo-hoo, now we can clamp down on people who've been using our data for free, and we can get a 100% monopoly on all of the advertising that people have been using to target their message to people through these different apps. I mean, he came out ahead. This is why I think we're going to see Facebook continue to soar. The other thing he also put out there is, you know what? You may have an option of buying your way out of being advertised to. And so you're going to end up potentially with this hybrid model. Well, it turns out somebody's already developed a model for social networking that doesn't include advertising, and I wanted to find out all about it. Bruce Fikowski is CEO of GetAssist. It is a Calgary-based social media company. It makes a profit. So it's not a nonprofit, it's not a charity, it's not got its hand out for a government grant, but it makes a profit without advertising and maintains total user privacy. So if this is what you want, this is the model we're going to be talking about. Bruce, thanks so much for joining me here.
Thanks for having me.
So first of all, I saw in the press release that you put out that you began this company in part because you were trying to get a light changed out in your dining room. And I thought, I wonder what that is all about. So tell us that story.
Well, actually, it was my wife who was trying to get a light hung in the dining room. I was looking for something else to do in my life. I'd just gotten out of a hotel property that we developed. And being a small business guy, I've always wanted to work with small business. So when my wife was after me to hang this light in the dining room, and this went on for a period of time. And she finally was asking me again, and I said, look, just find somebody. And she goes, no, you find somebody. So I started that Google search, phone calls, and, spending most of the day on and off of that, I realized that even wanting to spend probably 2 or 3 times what it was worth, I still hadn't found somebody. And I thought, this is ridiculous. There are thousands of small business providers in Calgary who would love this job, and I just can't reach them. So instead of starting a boutique consulting firm, which is what I was going to do for small business, I realized that everybody was already here. Just nobody had taken the time to connect us, to connect small business, and certainly not connect them with the community. And that's when I decided it was time to look at the number one communication tool of our time, which was social media, and see how we could improve it or to use it purposefully.
Well, you're so right, because I think of Facebook as a place that I go to hear the kind of political issues and current affairs issues my friends are interested in. I think of LinkedIn as a way to make business contacts, but I don't know if I'd go there to search for somebody that I needed as a contractor. So some of these tools connect us, but aren't particularly useful.
Yeah, small business has been left behind. You talk about LinkedIn, it's billed as the network for professionals. Facebook is advertising. I mean, I wasn't surprised when Zuckerberg said we advertise. I mean, that's all they do. I mean, they advertise that in my opinion, social media failed to mature. Started off as this, this great promise of communication. And, it just didn't get past that. And then what I guess the smartest entrepreneurs did was found a way to monetize that and advertise to you. And fair enough. But when you talk about communication, if you don't have privacy, you don't have intimacy. And I don't care if you're sharing with your family, your friends, or the intimate details of your business. Nobody goes out to have public conversations. It's all in private, and that's what our platform allows. The social side is all about private, manageable communication and connecting with the business community. So when you need things done, it's quick and easy. Because when you connect 2 memberships, a business membership and a social membership, on a single connected community network, you do 2 things. One is you've got a new business model. So typical social media is based on the size of your membership and the ad revenue you can drive from it. Our model certainly incorporates that, but we also, when we attached the business community, we added a typical business model where we sell memberships and leads, and businesses in return for that connect with other businesses. They get targeted sales leads. They get to post jobs. They have productivity tools. And, so on the social side, you can browse jobs. You can get assistance immediately. You just make a request, send it to the business community, and bam.
Okay, so give us an example now with this network in place. Mm-hmm. How would you have found that person to hang that light in your dining room using your program?
I would have just clicked on make a request and typed in hang a light in my dining room, and I would have selected from electrical residential. I would have typed in what I wanted in the description, selected the date and time I wanted it done on, or you can mark it urgent, and selected from a budget menu, 0 to 100, this kind of thing, and submit it. And that's it. And in 15 minutes, I would have multiple guys back to me, and that's it. That's all it would take. And I've used it. My wife and I have used it 20 times. The company uses it. People who use it over and over again. It works that well.
Okay, first, how did you solve your first problem of finding someone to hang the dining room light?
I finally continued with the Google search, and
you found
it took
someone.
me a year and a half to build this application.
So you needed to get that light for earlier then.
My wife wasn't going to wait another year and a half. I think she waited like 3 months already.
Okay, so you did end up solving that, but it was such a long process. So give me an idea. You said you've used this service 20 times now. Mm-hmm. Tell us the most successful way that you've been able to use it. Give us an example.
Well, just recently, as a matter of fact, I'm doing a backyard deck, and I needed somebody to come and do the pad and remove some debris. I made a request. I had a reply in 20 minutes. A number of weeks ago, I wanted to install a new Nest lock on my garage door, but I needed a big hole drilled in the door. I made a request, 20 minutes. The guy said he'd do it, was there that night, did it. Like, you get things done now. There's no waiting around. You're connected with small businesses in Calgary, people that are there to serve you, and they're on it.
The question I would have is, my first thinking was, the strength of any network is the number of participants. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't sure if you've got like the same 5 guys who are always putting in for your bids. How large is your network now?
Our business network's over 8,000 now.
8,000.
When we get in front of a small businessman or woman and explain what we're doing, about 50% of them buy it. We're growing. We're getting more requests. But they're very interested. And usually what we hear is, how come nobody has done this before? When you connect business and social on a single network or on a single platform, beautiful things happen.
No kidding. So tell me how the business model works. If you're not then advertising, if it's not an ad-based model, it's a membership-based model. What my experience is because we've been so used to getting things for free, people have very little tolerance to paying a membership fee. So what kind of fees are you looking at if you want to join the network?
Well, the social side's completely free.
If you want to be a customer, you can join, and you don't end up having to pay anything to join.
Yeah, and on the social side, you're talking about these private communities you create that are absolutely private. We don't even collect data on you, let alone share it or sell it. So you have this privacy and communication. If you want to reconnect with your family and your kids, their number one preferred method of communication is social media. And if you're not on a news feed with them, you're not relevant. This allows my family, for instance, to reconnect. My daughter's out of town, my son's out of town, and my other 2 are in town. But, we share things from holidays to what's being made for dinner. We're so close because we can share privately. You can't do that anywhere else. On the business side, in terms of costs, that's the model that supports it. And business is spending anywhere from $279 a year to $479 a year.
That is so reasonable. Holy cow! Because you can imagine in some of the different projects you've suggested, you could probably make your membership fees back on a single job.
Absolutely. The most expensive membership's like $150 a day, and then a lead. So what happens is, if I'm a business member and somebody makes a request for electrical or divorce lawyers, we have divorce lawyers on. If you made a request, they'd see all that information. They get a push notification. And so they get to read all that information you put in. And it's only if they decide that they can do that for you that they reply, and then they spend $2. So it's a $2 purchase for a lead, which is ridiculously low.
So if people want to join this, either because they, from a free point of view, they want to get their family connected without having Mark Zuckerberg spying on them and using their data to sell and make money to advertisers, or if you're a business owner who thinks, you know what, I might be able to generate some business this way, how do people join your network?
Well, you can download the app at the Play Store or the Apple Store. You can go online to GetAssist.com. Or you can just call one of the numbers in your city. We're in Calgary, Edmonton, Winnipeg, Mississauga. We just opened in Vaughan, and we're going to open in Scarborough this summer. And you can just call in, and we have people that will set you up.
That's fantastic. Thanks so much for coming in and sharing your story with us. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
That's Bruce Fikowski, CEO of GetAssist. You can check it out at GetAssist. I'm going to check it out in this break. Stay with us. We'll be right back on 770 CHQR.
Danielle Smith, weekdays starting at 9:30 a.m. on News Talk 770 Calgary.